Either you kill me or I will kill you, idiots.
Rodrigo Duterte was only elected president of the Philippines in May, but the tough-talking populist has wasted no time in making his mark.
Tapos yung iyo ngayon, that's the goal to condemn it. As again, I repeat it.
The former mayor of Davao City has led a bloody crackdown on drugs and crime that has earned him plaudits at home, but condemnation abroad. His sensitivity to outside criticism, particularly from Washington, has now thrown US-Philippine relations off balance, threatening to upend the relationship central to America's interests in Asia.
Mr. Obama, you can go to hell.
His strongman image has also raised concerns about what's ahead for the Philippines after several years of growth and stability under former President Benigno Aquino. Mr. Duterte promises to do for the nation what he previously accomplished in Davao. Once plagued by drugs and criminals, today that city is seen as one of the safest in the Philippines.
Basically, what he has done is bring a lot of peace and order to Davao, in which everybody's happy because everybody's alive.
The son of a provincial governor on Mindanao, Mr. Duterte was a rebel from the start.
We were brought up used to corporal punishment. Whenever we have done something wrong, we were always made to kneel in front of the altar.
According to a former classmate, he was expelled from his straight-laced Jesuit school in Davao for squirting blue ink on a priest before he was transferred to Holy Cross Academy, now Cor Jesu College in nearby Digos, to finish high school. He was known as a brawler with a hair-trigger temper.
Little did you know that many years later, he would occupy the highest position of the land.
Mr. Duterte's rebellious streak took on political dimensions at university in Manila, where he studied under Jose Maria Sison, who later founded the Communist Party of the Philippines. Mr. Duterte went on to law school and became a city prosecutor before being elected mayor in 1988, at a time when violent gangs were terrorizing Davao. He adopted a strict disciplinarian approach, imposing curfews as well as smoking and drinking restrictions. He also launched a harsh clampdown on suspected drug dealers. During his time as mayor, vigilante death squads killed more than 1,400 alleged criminals, according to human rights groups. RVJ was one of the alleged victims. The 22-year-old was a fisherman before he allegedly started selling drugs. He was shot in the head and the chest by 5 armed men in April. RV's mother says witnesses told her the gunmen wore masks. The police came to inspect the scene, but then made no progress finding the culprits. She says she didn't have the resources to press for further investigation.
Kana gid noon sa amuan dako gid katabang na kay simpre malikay atong mga dumadagko nga mga anak malikay gyud sila sa drugs. Pero dapat amo lang punghangyo sa gobyerno. Tagaan lang sa gigayon nga mabuhot magkuan sila iagi sila trial ba dili lang patyon.
A Davao police spokesperson said there are killings that are not related to the city's drug fight. The police say they lack solid information on some of the murders, but would investigate if there are leads or evidence.
Shoot and shoot him dead.
Mr. Duterte has said he encouraged police to be tough and to shoot anyone resisting arrest, but that he never personally ordered murders.
By circumstances alone, you can say that there's a connection. Because even if drug addicts and drug pushers are being killed, there are little to none were prosecuted.
Now, in the first 100 days of his presidency, Mr. Duterte has expanded his war on suspected drug dealers nationally. Police say, at the president's prompting, they have shot hundreds of suspected drug dealers who resisted arrest, and that hundreds more have fallen victim to vigilante killings. The campaign has raised concerns from human rights activists, international bodies, and President Barack Obama.
Fighting narco-trafficking is tough, but we will always assert the need to have due process.
Who is he? I am a president of a sovereign state, and we have long ceased to be a colony.
Mr. Duterte's angry response to Mr. Obama's criticism has resulted in the cancellation of US-Philippine military exercises and the scrapping of joint South China Sea patrols. He has also said he wants to forge a more independent foreign policy. He has taken steps to open more dialogue with China over territorial rights in the South China Sea and visited Beijing in mid-October. Washington says its alliance with the Philippines is ironclad, despite Mr. Duterte's torrent of anti-American rhetoric.
You know, we're not deaf. We do hear what he says. And yet, our cooperation with the Philippine government remains strong and unabated.
Mr. Duterte's office didn't respond to requests for comment.
So help me God.
After 3 months in office, Mr. Duterte has received mixed reviews. Former President Fidel Ramos, an ally who persuaded Mr. Duterte to run for office, has called the new leader's performance a disappointment, citing controversies over the killings and his foul language. Still, a recent poll shows that 76% of Filipinos are satisfied with Mr. Duterte so far. Some find his style refreshing and his distancing from the US empowering. In Davao City, there's a special pride of having the first homegrown president.
He's not very comfortable with the upper class, though he does not discriminate, but he's more at home with the masa. When I say masa, it's a common term. I mean the poor.
Many say they don't condone the killings, but see them as part of a painful process the nation has to go through.
I believe this kind of disturbance, if you may, in the national consciousness is necessary for us as a people to learn to come to grips with where we are, who we are, and where we're going.
Do you think we really need America?
Mr. Duterte, they say, is the kind of president the country needs right now. A strong leader who can bring order and discipline, even if it comes at a cost.
So do not